But let's begin with this provocative call, starting a fierce debate on Wall Street today. Lightshed Partners saying it's time for Tim Cook to step aside as Apple's CEO.
But when you look at the institutional investors that could potentially own this stock, this is not really a new concept. And certainly, even in, the world of tech media, this has been something that's been discussed more recently.
But for all the recent AI stumbles, Tim Cook has been at the helm for a number of successful launches and strategies. The Watch, the AirPods, Apple Pay, Apple Music, the M1 chip, massive international expansion, and tremendous market cap growth. Joining us now to discuss, Gene Munster, managing partner at Deepwater Asset Management, and Patrick McGee, author of Apple in China. Patrick, look, we got the library book. That's what it's a great read. And we're thrilled to have you both here. Look, the book talks all about how Apple created the made in China problem, why it was late in diversifying its supply chain, and so forth. Gene, let me just start with you, though, on your take on this whole thing, because you don't seem to agree that now would be the right time for Tim Cook to step aside. Is that right?
Exactly, Kelly. I think it's important we just take a step back, and there are a few factors that are being, I think, missed in this conversation. And the first is that being CEO of Apple is more akin to being CEO of a country than a company. And specifically, if you look at Apple's revenue plus their app gross revenue and the number of employees, that they have about $2 trillion in annual kind of impact globally. And separately, about 7 million people find their full-time work from Apple. This is more like being president of Canada or Brazil, kind of a similar type of a GDP country. And so the criticism for Cook not moving fast enough in AI, I think, is tone deaf to this geopolitical piece, which he has largely done an incredible job of. So I think that's one piece. And then I just want to add something else I think largely gets missed by people. I've known Tim for a long time, and he is a hyper-competitive person. He may not come across as that, but I am sure he is frustrated at the pace that they've been moving in AI. And I think investors or this line of thinking misses the point that Tim is doing a lot behind the scenes to move them forward when it comes to AI. So I think that he's the right person for being the president, being the CEO of Apple.
Patrick, I mean, to put it bluntly, I could ask if you agree, although to point out all the analysis in your book is really talking about how Apple stumbled or kind of got so intertwined with China, which is really a different question now than who should lead this company into the AI future. So feel free to disentangle those talking points if you want. Maybe you see them as somewhat related. I don't know.
What I would say is when Tim Cook took over from Steve Jobs, more than anyone else, is the product visionary of the century. He knew that Tim Cook was not a product visionary. The thing is, it didn't matter because the iPad was relatively new. The iPhone was relatively new. Tim Cook's job was to, manufacture at scale and distribute those products around the world. I would basically say mission accomplished. By 2023, Apple was a $3 trillion company, the first one in the world. The mission is different now. I mean, Apple is not about to surprise OpenAI with some great AI achievement. It is way behind to levels that are frankly embarrassing, if not tragic, for a company that has led the world in innovation for the last 25 years. So look, I think Tim Cook has done a magnificent job in numerous respects. Give him $1 billion if you want to, golden parachute. But the pendulum has swung back to a period where Apple needs to be a product visionary again. And Tim Cook has never been that guy. It just hasn't mattered before. Now it does.